Hello, everyone, and hello. Thank you for joining me today. Okay, so let me make sure. I think I might have my microphone not set up. I was just noticing. But anyway, let me know if you can't hear. Every time I'm trying different things that are new. Today, as I've been invited or suggested to me by one of my friends, fellow developer advocate Max from Brazil. Sorry, somehow I think something got reloaded, and I'm sorry. Let me invite Max in. So give me a second. Hey, Max.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Mary.
How are you?
Thanks, thanks for having me. It's the first
Yeah,
time that I'm joining in this
great.
in your channel. So I'm so
Thank you.
happy and so pleasure to be here to
Thank
talking
you,
to you.
Max. Thank you.
Sorry,
Thank
my
you.
my hair and
Oh,
my crazy stuff. Don't worry.
don't worry. I don't notice anything different. So I still have to meet you in person. But yeah, but so glad to have you here. Yeah, today. And actually, everybody too. I don't know who is here. Sometimes it's hard to tell. But anyway, welcome everybody to my weekly Twitch. And so today we have Max from Zoop. Is that how you say it in Brazil? Brazilian, right? Did
Yeah.
I say it correctly? So,
Zoop,
yes.
Zoop.
Zoop. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So very nice. So yeah. So Max is also a developer advocate. He suggested to me that yeah, let's talk about developer relations, developer advocacy. I think it's a great um, kind of opportunity to do so. And thank you so much. And so I invited Max kind of at the last moment, let's come on in and join me and we can chat. And in fact, on my Discord channel too, I invited anybody who wants to talk about developer relations or question. If you have questions about developer relations, we can have a chat about that. And I think it's also very timely too because I also have some news from my side, but let's kind of like get to the meat of it. But the thing is, too, before I actually get to that, I wanted to also take this opportunity, also on my Discord channel. A friend of ours on the channel, I don't know his full name, but the handle is PWR. He indicated he's from Ukraine. So, everybody, too, I'm sure everybody is like on your mind that these days it's just very sad and extremely hurtful. I think for folks, especially if you're in Ukraine or you have friends and family, and in my case too, I indicated on my Discord channel too, is that I was in Ukraine a few times. I took the train to go around different cities. So these days, when I heard, they got hit, Kharkiv, or Kharkiv, I think that's how they say it, got hit by missiles and rockets, and people, children were dying and things like that. It hurt me like very deeply too, because I know people in there. So I like to just take this opportunity also just to let folks, especially in Ukraine, that I stand up for you. My heart is prayers are with you. So yeah, and I don't know if anybody is watching, but yeah, just wanted to kind of indicate so on this stream. So yeah, so and then yeah, then we can kind of focus on seeing problem on this stream being reloaded. Max, are you seeing that too? Um,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I can hear you and see.
Okay, okay, yeah. Because on my okay, I'm noticing too when I'm testing, I notice we get reloaded. This thing, I'm not sure. I'm actually using a different streaming, not Restream anymore. So I'm using Melon. So that's a Streamlabs, as it turns out, it's a Streamlab behind the scenes. So it's my second time using it. The last time seemed okay. So let's see. Yeah, okay. Anyway, I talked for too long, but again, my heart goes out to folks in Ukraine and everything. Yeah, so. And we also have a chat too from Fusnabo. How are you, Fusnabo? You join us again today. Would you like to join us on the screen? Let me know, Fusnabo. Ping me, and then I'll invite you in as well. So Fusnabo says, I remember developer advocacy in the old Atari and Amiga days. I don't want that aggressive advocacy back. Really? So that is interesting. I will be interested to hear from you. Like your experience when you first saw developer advocates back in the old days, really. But for me too, I worked for a company called Sybase back in the kind of early 2000s, and they were a database company. You might have heard of. They still have products running. So something like the Oracle, the early days of rivalry between Oracle and Sybase was strong. Anyway, so that time they actually had a technical evangelist rather than calling them advocates. So I think there are differences too. But I'll also let Max to kind of chime in to see if you have any thoughts too about developer advocacy, and understanding that you have, right? What do you think, Max?
Oh, Mary, thanks for let me speak and so. Well,
Sure.
firstly, I agree with you about Ukraine seasons and the Ukraine situation. So I hope my best wish for them, and
Hmm.
wish that this kind of situation be solved quickly in order to save lives. So
Yeah.
any kind of thing can result in a war. Understand? So there is no meaning about it. But well, regarding developer advocate role that I mentioned in our Discord channel,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's is it worked. Looks like it's stuck in my presentation.
Oh, in your screen? Okay. I
Yeah,
I'm
I don't
okay.
know if. Oh,
I'm okay.
no.
I can see you fine. So
Okay, okay. So it's interesting because a few days ago we had a little discussion. Am I right, Mary, about this the
Yes.
developer advocate roles and developer relations and area and something like that. And I think it's a good opportunity to discuss about this kind of role because, well, I have a developer background, like you. Am I right? You are a Java champion as well,
Yeah.
so you got a lot of background, and also I am a developer as well, and when I start to listen about this kind of role, I
Yeah.
start to think to myself, oh, what it meaning? Why? What developer advocate does? I
Hmm.
don't know why, but I realized that it's a good position because you can bring valuable things to the community, and so you can
Yeah.
understand through feedbacks the projects that you are advocating can be improved. So
Yeah.
it's a very interesting kind of position because you learn a lot with this kind of situation. For example,
Yeah.
I need to learn how can do something like that, and we
Hmm.
can talk into the communities and something like that, and we can bring another solutions, and it's so important for me.
Yeah.
I have been work as developer advocate of 5 months
Yeah.
ago, so I begin it on this kind of area.
Yeah.
So but I can see that it's a special role because we can improve ourselves, we can improve the people developer lives and so on. So that's the reason why I think this kind of
Yeah.
role is so important, especially
Yeah.
in nowadays.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah, so yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay, so Fusnabo said there's some background noise. Is that correct? Or okay, I'm not sure if how it could be, but I can also stop the music as well. So just to see, in case that's contributing to that. Let me know if it's better too. Since we are talking, so no need for any background music. But I normally play something. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And what is Fusnabo LTS has his kids? I yeah. Anyway, I don't quite understand that question. Anyway, so yeah, so we can go back and also Fusnabo, if you want to get online, please let me know, right? I can invite you into. But in the meantime, too, yes, it is very true. I feel right for developer advocates, right? And I think there's first of all, I feel that there has been a lot of misunderstanding too about what developer advocates is like, and wonder. Okay, and then Fusnabo said something. Oh, you have a headache today. Oh, okay. I'm so sorry, Fusnabo, but thank you too for joining us for a few minutes, and I hope you feel better soon. So maybe next time we will have you online here. So yeah, okay, okay. So oh, no problem, Max. Yeah, it's your children. Oh, don't worry. I mean, yeah. Okay, so okay then, no worry. But okay, so I will I'll get back to doing talking about developer advocates, right? So interestingly, in the beginning too, right? When I first got into developer advocacy, that was all, well, I should also first to say was that my exposure to advocacy was through the technical evangelist at Sybase. And they were actually came to us from marketing. But the thing is that they were passionate technologists, essentially. They came out and they talk about technology, they do demos and things like that. But at that time, there weren't, in the early 2000s, there weren't as many like meetup groups, or conferences. There were conferences, but they were mostly organized by marketing. So, for example, there was Java One. Java One was interesting too. It was, to me, it's actually interesting. In some ways, it wasn't like purely a community event because it was driven by a commercial company, right? And at the time was JavaSoft that came out. And then JavaSoft was part of Sun Microsystems, and then okay, JavaSoft, and then eventually too, then it got acquired by Oracle. So it's kind of really carries with it this marketing flavor. But I think because the community is so strong, that it kind of it didn't get like overshadowed by marketing now. And I'm sorry too, folks who are in marketing, I just have this kind of experience, I suppose, with marketing that didn't go quite too well. So I'm a bit biased, right? And I'm more of a community person. I come from the community side, right? Doing user groups and things like that. And as we all know, developers do not even want to hear any vendors, right? Any mentioning. That's a very important thing. So when as advocates, right, we know we have the mission, we have to carry out this product information promoted to the community, but we also have to be very careful of not like overly trying to do sales, because that's really, I mean, if you think about it, we're not trying to come out and do sales. We aren't really contributing, so to speak, right, directly to a sales pipeline. It's not like getting leads, right? In marketing, that's what I learned. Generate all the leads, who potentially these people can be buyers of our product. Fair enough, right? We are here working for commercial company. We need to make a living. We do need to make sales. But the thing is that developer advocacy goes beyond just the making money part, right? I mean, it is important. Don't get me wrong. We need to make a living, but the thing is that it's more important is that we want to developers to get to know how to use your product. Why is it your product is good, and also really have joy using the product, and really we're passionate, we want to really focus on the technical part. And so there's kind of a fine line to draw. And then okay, so then my experience too is that I well, I should say too, I'm actually joining a different company and so next week, right? So I'm actually transitioning. And there's also a large part, if you're interesting too, I can kind of share with you, maybe just private chat, right, about why I left my previous company. It was a bit too much of a marketing kind of overshadowing, and I don't think it's good. And because developer advocates really is supposed to be more of the relations. We build relations, right? And so from the relationship, we want to be able to lead. It's almost seems like to me, it's like you want to build a ballpark, right? There was a movie called Field of Dreams, right? If you build it, they will come, right? So if we advocate for it, and from a non-commercial way, if it is good stuff, people will come. There's no need to be like telling people, okay, kind of put into their face, okay, pay me this money and then you come, you can join the party after you pay it. No, we want to say this is good stuff, right? And you like it, then you pay for it. It just should be like that. And so that's just my take on what developer advocacy should be. And it's emphasizing the collaboration, the sharing of knowledge, the really good stuff, right? I mean, money, don't get me wrong, is not all bad, but if it's kind of just purely all the money stuff, it really drives people away. There's no meaning. It's just just the money. And so what? You get the money, you buy good food or you buy a good car. That is good. But the thing is, we want to have the community. We want to bring out the spirit in people to be sharing and not like stepping on each other's, and killing each other. So that's just my spiel. So yeah. So yeah. So yeah, that's what I feel. So yeah, and let's see, and ABC. Yeah. Oh, always be closing. A great movie scene. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's interesting. Fusnabo, you have to show that to me. Maybe play the clip for us next time. So yeah. Okay. And there's somebody. Okay. There. Sorry. I think I see some like a kind of a what you call it, like ads in the thing. So I'm sorry, I'll have to like ban you. So anyway, so that's just my thinking about developer advocacy, right? And also too, I think another thing I feel as developer advocates, we ought to be given a lot more, so to speak, like autonomy, right? We cannot be told how to do our jobs. And I think maybe it's not just for developer advocates too, for anybody. I feel we ought to be respected to how we do our job, right? We know the goal, but we can actually do it in a way that's kind of like how we it will work for us, so to speak. It is what I feel. Yeah, any kind of like a freedom to choose how you do your work. I think it just shows that an employer trusts you, right? And somebody, I think it's important to kind of build out the trust is what I feel. And of course, we as people doing the work, right, the advocates, we need to have high level of integrity as well. We are not there to cheat people or to kind of, so to speak, right, jip people or something. So I think it's both ways. But anyway, that is my again, my thinking about it. So yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so interesting thing because yeah, I agree with you, Mary, and also when I come in this role, I saw that what communities watch is just the is not the whole thing that developer advocate does,
Yeah.
because also we need to work based on the metrics. You need to understand how to work, how to speak with the developers, and that's the
Mhm.
reason why it's part of our our roles. Okay, that's the reason why we are developers, so we are able to
That's
talk with another developers. So
that's right.
but also we need to work with according to the planning of the company that you are working on. So sometimes we need to pay attention about the metrics, about the numbers, because it's so important as well. It's more than just to share acknowledgement, just to share, to participate on the talk, have events and something like that. Of course, that is part of our job, but also we need to support engineering team,
Mhm.
getting feedback and something like that. We need to be able to decide. Oh, we need to communicate some kind of interesting thing for the community about the project that we are advocating, so we need to pay attention on that. So there are a lot of stuff that advocate does during the day, and it's so interesting because it's out of just to coding. It's just it's
Yes.
something that we can use to be relevant in our area, but also you need to care about another kind of things like metrics, like
Yeah.
events and something like that. So we can
Mm.
organize events, we can organize movements, something like that as well, but
Yeah.
we do a lot of things, and I learn it day by day with
Yeah.
my special team in Zoop innovation. It's a I think in Brazil, our
Mhm.
company is the pioneer in this kind of area, developer relations
Yeah.
in Brazil. So
Yeah.
I'm still learning with this kind of area. And I
Yeah.
have a little question to you, Mary. I
Sure.
saw in the internet, in the Twitter and something like that. Oh
Mhm.
yeah, she Gab is a teammate that I'm work with. She's I think I don't know if Mary remember about her, but because but
Yeah.
he was in our interview in a few months ago. I don't know if you remember, but
Yes. I
yeah,
remember. Yeah.
uh, but um, oh God, I forgot what I here. Oh, okay, I back. I saw in the internet, especially in Twitter. Okay, Twitter is a place of fighting ideas. Okay, so
That's right.
yeah, but I saw in the internet that there are special difference between developer relations and developer advocate. Relation is a area or is a role. So it's a little different.
You're
It's a
right.
confusing because sometimes someone says, "Oh, I do developer relations." No, but I do developer advocate. No, I am developer
Mm.
evangelist. So
Yeah.
uh, there are variation between those kind of roles. I think so, but
Yeah.
what do you think about it? Developer
Yeah.
advocate is a developer relation is a area, or is a it could be a role and something like that. What
Sure.
you can I say about that?
Yeah, very, very good question, Max. Yeah, in fact, I feel that even the industry too, people that we are, that are in developer relations or developer advocates or evangelists, however you want to call us, we are still right as a very young, so to speak, a kind of a kind of a specialized type of industry, right, within the development software world. It's still everybody is trying to define that, and in fact, I wanted to bring to your attention too, and I need to maybe afterwards look for the link. There's this one new developer advocate that she's on Twitter, and it's called like Defocate underscore, yeah. And she actually started this site too. And then I noticed just the other day, and how timely, that's what I'm saying, because apparently there's some groups of people are kind of defining like a model, so to speak, right? Like a model of what developer DevRel is, right? So that would be something interesting if people are interested to, if you're interested to also follow that, and maybe also contribute in their discussion too when as they are defining this model. Anyway, so that's that. But okay, so going back to your question about DevRel, developer advocates, technical evangelists, or however you want to call it, and as I also myself have been finding out too, I feel it really can mean different things to different organizations according to their needs, as how they define it. But to me, I feel, or at least in my mind, I think of DevRel is more of like a category on the abstract level, perhaps a bit more of an umbrella, even like I call it an umbrella abstract level, meaning that it can cover you as a developer advocates that go out and do outreach, right? Doing presentations, doing Twitch stream like here, doing different things is essentially the outward facing, the public kind of facing that you have, that you do. So that's to me is one aspect. And then the other aspect is with the community side of things, right? Doing meetups, doing hackathons, doing activities, workshop, and things like that. Maybe a study group, tutorials, however you name it, is a bit of the community where we're gonna roll up our sleeve and do things, kind of thing. So that it beyond just the public facing, kind of presentation mode. And then, of course, then there's another part, which is a bit of a hidden part, which is more of the writing, right? People writing blog articles, designing tutorials, and doing all of these things. Maybe, really like you're promoting your product. So you're having like workshops or different exercise code katas and things like that, new things. And so there are essentially three main parts that I see as advocates. There may be more too. Maybe you can also tell me. But as far as I feel, after having done advocacy professionally for 3.5, almost 4 years now, that's how I see it. And I see DevRel is more like it encompasses any of these. And then of course too, it's an interesting part, as I went out to do some job interviews, I found out that some companies too, they say, oh, we're looking for DevRel. But the more I talk about it, they are actually looking for a client solutions engineer. Yeah, so that's another thing, right? They could be like, okay, well, we are, let's say we do Twitch, right? Even on Twitch. But then for my what I know was that, right, and Twitch, well, actually they talk to me too. They come to me, they say, would you like to work for us? So I kind of have a conversation, just wanted to learn about what it is. So they were just essentially saying that, well, Twitch, there can be companies that are privately, they want to develop their internal kind of Twitch channel or something like that, right, for internal consumption. So they might have like special settings that they want, but using the Twitch kind of format, right? Their channel. So then they have different customization. Maybe you need to write APIs to connect certain things to customize for your internal needs. So they actually have these, they call it developer advocates too, but they are there to actually customize, to help clients to customize their specific use of their product. So I can see that too also being called advocates, but interestingly to me, I feel more like a solutions engineer, that you provide service to build solutions for your customers, I think. But companies call them developer advocates too. And that's valid, if that's what they find, advocates should be doing too. But it's just a little bit confusing because of that aspect, right? Again, it goes back to also say marketing department. Oh, we want advocates because they want somebody who knows the technical stuff and go out and talk about your things. So then, you're like advertising, doing ads, for your products. But I think the marketing kind of, if they're extreme marketing, think they would look at advocates more like a pre-sales technical pre-sales person, so that you probably don't deal too much with the community side of things. I think you're just more like, okay, going to conduct webinars, right? Collect all the leads, after your webinars and things like that. But still, companies too, they call them advocates. So yeah, there's like a whole mixture of things, and people are mix and matching what they functionally what it is, and they label it developer advocates. We don't care. We need somebody to talk, an advocate. We go like a wild card. We're wild card people. Pop us in and you go do the job like that. And so it is interesting. I feel perhaps the industry is still trying to define it, kind of strictly speaking, like what it should be. But otherwise too, in the meantime, we're just all trying to, live every day and do things. But I think ultimately too, it is true, we want to bring more sales to the company. But in my opinion, I think of more of a long term thing, because you're building up relations, you're building the trust. So then developers will trust you, they will come back to you, and they know you. It's like a brand. Say for example, like Josh Long, right? He's so successful, right? He's wildly successful. He's the Spring guy. Everybody's like, okay, going to Josh for the Spring stuff and things like that. So in some ways, yeah, we're building up a brand, but our brand ties into some product and kind of brings sales to the company. So yeah, that's just what I think. But so yeah. Mm,
No, it's amazing. Yeah, looks like it depends of the company, depends of the but it's like Fuznapo said in the chat. Looks like who knows what they want. So okay, sometimes the people don't simply don't know what they want.
yeah.
So and they watch us. Oh, this guy speaks very well. I will hiding him to sell my product, something like that. But it's a very different, I think. Well, for example, I'm a developer. My foundation is developer, so I'd like to advocate about something that I believe. So I need to
Yeah,
believe in order to advocate about it. So
that's right. Yeah.
and sometimes it starts to fighting against the strategy of the company. I think that that's the reason why maybe you try to change your position right now. But it's interesting because sometimes I saw the people. Okay, you are developer advocate, so you need to evangelize someone. Oh God, but I'm not evangelist. I'm not forcing you to use something that I don't believe. I will show
Yeah.
you the
Yeah.
best about something that
Yeah.
can help you. But in
Yeah.
order to do that, I need to listen you in order to understand your necessities. About
Yeah.
your necessities, I can, okay, you need, for example, you need to communicate between IoT devices. So
Mm-hmm.
use the MQTT protocol
Yeah.
about that,
Yeah.
and
That's great.
and I will reference Mary to share with you about those kind of thing, because I know that Mary is a specialist on it. But
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
example, sometimes we can see that people do this kind of confusion.
Mm-hmm.
They what most of the people asking me, well, okay, you are advocating about some kind of product, but
Yeah.
how can you make money for the company? And then we need to
Yeah.
start again, answering him. Okay, man,
Yeah.
I will creating a kind of a wideness between the developers, and the developers we would pay attention when I
Mhm.
saw a kind of solution, and
Yeah.
it will increase the adoption and something like that, and probably it will be
Mhm.
converted to a sale thing and something like that. But I'm
Mhm.
not care about the selling. I care about the necessities and the help of the people, and again
Sure.
listen the company, It's political stuff. Looks like. Am I
Yes,
right?
yes. That's what it is. It is,
Yeah.
yeah. It really, really is. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a very good
But
point.
it's
Right?
so important. It's so
Yeah,
interesting. So interesting. But
yeah.
in Brazil, in Develop innovation, we got a special year as well.
Hmm.
Our lead, our red is Carol Villas Boas. She is a very well. She's my mentor as well.
Ah,
She teach me, taught me a lot of stuff about that. I got a good team as well. We are composed of four developer advocates as well.
yeah,
Each one has a great background. One is dedicated
mm,
for mobile development. Another one is dedicated of Kotlin and something like that. And
yeah,
we are, and also we got a community manager. I think that is a role that I mentioned during your
yeah,
discussion before. And we are working together, following the expectation of the company, trying to create this kind of trusting
yeah,
channel between developers and something like that. And
yeah,
it's so important because we can help the people. That's the reason why I'm here. I like to help people. I like
yeah.
to do something meaningful. So
Mhm.
it's so interesting to see how those things work outside of Brazil. It's
Yeah,
something that is so important to me, and I'm interested on about
yeah,
it. And
yeah.
I have another question to you, Mary.
Sure. If I can answer.
When you goes to meetups and something like that on the USA, how do you think that this kind of position helps you to be good positioned on your events and something like that? Do you think that it will help you to create this kind of trust channel between the developers?
Oh,
Do you-
okay. So let me understand your question again. If so, you're asking.
Oh, and
Yeah,
let me organize my mind. Okay, so
sure, no problem.
uh, uh, do you think that your position right now, developer advocate, helps you in your meetups? Am I right? I think so. And but you know, can you tell me how can be good or bad for you when you are in meetups around your USA,
Oh, okay.
trying to
So
spread your words?
yeah, so it's the being a developer advocate helping me to run meetups too. Is that your question? Yeah, yeah. I think certainly it is very very helpful. And in fact, I should also bring up if point out too is that how I got into doing developer advocacy was because of Chicago Java Users Group. Let me put it that way, right? I've always been very interested, I realize, of doing user groups or just sharing things when I used to, well, I was a coder, right, for programmer, right, for over 25 years and different in different areas. But I still remember I really enjoyed working with people. Sometimes I like it when they're like fellow developers. You are coding, you be chatting to, and used to be no, before the chat comes out, right? We'll be coding, in the same room, and we'll be chatting while we're coding and laughing about things. And I just love that kind of a community spirit. So anyway, then it's kind of slowly, move into internet chat, right? And actually, if somebody have used like Trillion too, I don't know if you remember, there was a tool called Trillion that runs on Windows, and I used to work on Windows system, Windows PC, right? So we installed Trillion because people could be using Yahoo Messenger or using Hotmail, and you can use Trillion as a unified platform. So we were using Trillion for communication. And I remember people would be joking and saying funny things while you're coding, that type of stuff. So I just enjoyed that kind of camaraderie, right? Kind of a community kind of spirit thing. Anyway, so then slowly, right after having, and I was kind of, I should say too, I kind of became feel like I wanted to do something different, because if you're a developer, you're more heads down, you just kind of got the work handed to you. They need to something, you build it, you design and build it kind of thing. So I felt more like it's about time, something I wanted to look for beyond just the coding. It's just too focused somehow. So, and then at the same time too, there was chance, right, of Freddie, who used to be the CJUG lead, right, before I joined. He took over from the Oracle. Oracle is running CJUG in 2012 or something. So then I was also at the same time looking for some user community. I thought, oh, it might be good. It's freely available. You go to meetup.com, you search for any meetup groups, you can usually find them. So I started kind of searching for meetup.com, and I saw, oh, Java, great. There are plenty of Java users group. And of course, locally at the time, nobody was doing online, or mostly not doing online things. So then I found one in Chicago's, and there was CJUG. So I started going to CJUG, started going to more and more and more and more. And they actually were asked, Freddie came to me and said, why don't you come and help us? And I said, well, can I help? He said, well, of course you can help. So that's when I kind of put my foot into the door, so to speak, right? 2015, and started helping. And then there was a chance to do lightning talks. And I remember I was scared. It's so funny, right? I never wanted to speak in front of people. But the thing is, too, within a small group, I would be comfortable. But to speak in front of larger group, it took me some time. But also at the same time, I felt it's about time, right? I need to come out of my shell, so to speak. And so I started doing lightning talks, and that went well. And it's really such a great place, right? It's a safe environment. And in fact, we are having CJUG lightning talks tomorrow. If anybody wants to do a lightning talk, you still have time to sign up. So we welcome anybody. So it's kind of 5 minutes short talk, and so that's how I started doing talks. And then it seems like then the opportunities started coming. There were other meetup groups too. There were chances of speaking. And so anyway, I kind of brought up all of these first because then you were asking the from the other direction, is developer advocacy helping me with meetup groups? Certainly it does too. And I feel because of me kind of coming from more of the shy, person, and then becoming a speaker and then leading meetup group, it's actually at this. It was also good timing too. It was there was a chance of IBM having needing Java developer advocates, and they came to the Java users group asking, and I responded, and that how it worked out and how I became an advocate. And I found there's so much synergies, right, between if you're a meetup group leads and then you're doing advocacy. It's about the same thing because part of advocacy too involves the meetup part, the community part. So definitely, I think doing it both sides, professionally or volunteer, they both sides are helping each other because we're trying to achieve the same kind of objective. Although I have to say, if you're professional advocates, then you bring in the money part, right? You need to generate income for your company, however way, kind of model you're doing. But on the meetup side too, is really purely you're volunteering. You're bringing out your passion, you're sharing your passion of the knowledge of things to share with people, you are encouraging people to do the same. So I think definitely both sides are helping each other, not just one side helping the other. Both sides are helping each other in that sense. But I think ultimately too, as human beings, we don't, like I said, right, we don't live on bread alone, right? And then kind of meaning that we need more than just kind of living the day to day. You eat or you do all the day to day things. We need that community. We need that spirit of kind of the goodwill, right, towards one another. It just makes your life so much better. I mean, that's my thinking, right? So that's the goal, I feel. But I hope I answer your question. So that was a good
Yeah,
question.
yeah, it's a little confused question. No, but I understand and I agree with you. And sometimes when you are doing as voluntary, you just do by yourself. Maybe when you do by yourself, you don't need to care about your presence or how do you are presenting to the world because you are just representing yourself just like that. But when you are for example, oh, I am developer advocate on at Zoop, so
Yeah,
I'm a Zoop advocate, so I'm a Zoop employee, so it depends of I need to care about the way that I'm speak, that I way that the way
yeah,
that I can express myself. So I saw this kind of thing that I need to care about.
yes,
It's something that that I need to care about. And also the imposter feeling that we feels when
Oh,
you need
yeah,
to
too.
talk. So sometimes you need to face in this kind of imposter feels the same. So it's something that you need to handle with. And I, it's like to listen you that you start to talking use but on line talks and something like that.
Yeah.
I'm also start on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
also start doing line talks, and
Yeah.
it's so special because when you are in a security place, you can expose yourself and maybe
Yeah.
the worst the worst enemy is ourselves, because ourselves always judge ourselves. So
That's right.
but oh, Mary, I must thank you for this opportunity.
Oh,
So I
okay.
must thank you a lot, because I need to go.
Oh, yeah, it's
In a
late.
couple minutes,
Okay.
I will be hosting an event on the Soul
Oh,
Java channel,
okay.
YouTube channel. So
Great.
I need
Sure.
to
Sure.
go there. But
Yeah.
also we will open a new edition for Soul Java Line Talks
Oh,
soon.
great.
So, in order to help
Okay.
the community to become a new speaker, why not? Okay,
Yeah,
when we share, we learn it two times. So
that's right.
that's the reason why. But I must thank you, and sorry
Okay.
for
Okay. No,
any
no,
kind
no.
of
No, no, no.
uh,
Yeah.
English
Oh,
English
don't worry.
mistake that I did. Okay,
No
because
mistake.
well, I push myself to do my best, and I
You're
need to
great.
put
Yeah.
my English on a plate and make those things work.
No, no, no.
So
That's fine.
thanks again, and thanks for having me. Everyone in the chat, please send the question. Follow her.
Thank
She's
you.
so kind, and
Um,
you will
Max.
learn a lot with her. With her.
Well,
Okay.
thank you, Max. Thanks for your kind words. Thank you for joining me. It's really an honor having you here, and good luck in your in your event today too. So yeah, we'll have you back again too. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Bye
I'll stay
bye.
on
See
for a
ya,
little bit.
guys.
All right. Good luck. Thank you. Okay. Bye bye. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I'm back, and so I hope that was a useful conversation that you find useful. And I think I've been talking for almost an hour now, I guess. So, but yeah, and thank you again, Max. I really appreciate you agreeing to join. And for me, it's kind of funny. I like I said, right? I'm using this particular, the my new app for this streaming platform, but it is. I'm noticing a lag. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe I need to kind of go and figure out what's going on. And it's just like different times, and there are different things. So, but in any event, I'm not sure if folks are you are still around. But I wanted to actually go back to Oh yeah, Fusnabo. Yes. So yes, so I will continue to be a developer advocate. So DevRel. But the thing is, the area I'll be working on is a okay. It's a different company, but I will let you know next week because I haven't started yet. So I want to wait until I start, then I will announce. But it is actually a data management company that they are into big data, and also my area is specifically then helping with Apache Pulsar with event streaming. So that's the area that I will be working with. And Max is there. Thank you so much, Max. I really appreciate. So yes, so I will still be doing developer advocacy. So, but like I said, there are just various reasons. But I can share with you later too as to why I'm switching. But the thing is too, I am really looking forward to the new opportunity. And yeah, and also too, one of the things is I've always been interested, right, in distributed messaging. So this kind of lines up really well with the new opportunity and I've been also looking more and more into like distributed messaging, also like with the cloud native type of scenario too. So I hope to be able to bring to you more of that area of knowledge too, if you're interested. And actually, if you're interested too, and yeah, oh, okay, let me see. I think Max says invite Shagaby. Yeah, is Shagaby? Do you want to join? Are you still there? I can. Do you want to come join my stream right now, or maybe next time? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Oh, so Shagaby's also had to leave too. So okay, so must be Max's colleague. Is that right? So, but anyway, thank you for joining too. So okay, so all right, let me kind of get back to here, and let me kind of play around with something. I think that maybe the lag could be something I didn't do right in my configuration. So if you don't mind holding on for 1 minute, and I don't think let me see like what might be going on too. I think I might be yeah. Let me do this one thing. Okay, that I wonder if it might make a difference because I realize on my OBS too I'm also connected to my 4K camera. I think that might be what it was because I didn't tell it to stop, when I'm not having that connected. And because now I'm actually connected to my other camera because I realized that with the 4K, right, even though it's very sharp, but I think my network provider is not very strong in here. So I think it might be overloading my network, my upload. And now it seems like it's a little bit better now. It doesn't seem to be having a lag. All of a sudden, I realized that I was testing my 4K and I did not, tell it to stop. So now I actually stopped that. It seems to be better. So good. So I apologize, right? Earlier, if there was some kind of network kind of flickering and all that. So now I'm not sure if folks, if you are still interested in looking at the test container stuff, right? And I realized that nobody was watching the test containers. Anyway, but that is okay, not an issue. Maybe I didn't do it right last week, but like I said, right, I actually spent a bit more time, and in fact, I got into developing a JUnit test using test containers too. So if you're interested, or if you don't oppose, I can go and show you some of it. There's been some interesting findings too. Now, I am still helping out too a little bit with the MQTT stuff too. And oh, okay, Max, you're saying that Shagaby is your colleague. That's wonderful. Please thank her for joining my stream today too. So thank you very much. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so folks, yeah, who are still here, let me in this case then go and share with you my code, right? So okay, so I have my code behind me, but let me kind of change my configuration a little bit so then you can see have me kind of smaller, not blocking essentially. Oops, and let me kind of do this one thing. Okay, now actually let me do this. All right, so this is better, right? So I'm not blocking now. So now I kind of realize, you know what? I haven't actually been to the hairdresser for 2 years since the COVID time, so my hair is very long and it's also gray. Anyway, that shows that I'm thinking, right? I'm actually spending time thinking, but yeah, I hope so. Right? Yeah. That really, yeah, a lot of thinking really makes your hair get gray. But okay, so I think I might be still a little bit too big for some reason. I don't think I should be like so big because then I'm blocking the code. I don't need to be showing up there, in fact. But okay. All right. So making myself tiny so then I don't block as many things. So okay, just one thing too. I just wanted to show, right. This part, in fact, first of all, right. Again, going back to a bit talking about test containers. First of all, let me, and I did not do this, which is to get to the test container website. Let me bring that up. I think it is definitely worth looking into. The reason is that and let me, I'm trying to go to the test containers website. Okay, let's go over here. Okay, so let me kind of bring this up. So, and let me kind of expand this a little. So this is their test containers examples, right? But anyway, if you're interested too, their code is all open source. So, and they're really really great team. There are only like very few people in the company, like maybe not more than 10 of them. So, including their CEO, Sergey, who's a great guy, and he's the CEO. So, I met him too in Ukraine. In fact, he's Ukrainian, or is he Russian? I don't even remember. But I met him in Ukraine, a very great person. And he was with Pivotal, which is now VMware. So he was on the Spring team before too. So now he's at that, right? So now, I just posted that link to their test containers GitHub. So if you are interested in getting to know how it works too, and then they support Java, all kinds of languages too, right? So Java is the one that I'm focusing on right now, especially with the HiveMQ, because HiveMQ is the MQTT broker. So essentially, to think of, we're building test containers. It's, to me, I felt, I don't want to use the word, but in my mind too, I think of test containers much like mock objects, right? In like Java testing world, or kind of any kind of testing world, you're kind of simulating your the objects that you want to test. But the thing is, with test containers, is that you actually build your modules that you can uh, kind of make it easier and kind of be ready to run in Docker containers. And so, yeah, so it is pretty convenient. And one thing too, as I was learning, I was kind of putting together this test case, right? Earlier, I just talked about test containers without bringing in HiveMQ, but last weekend I got a chance to, somehow I didn't get around to it until the weekend, and I was trying to build this quick example of essentially having HiveMQ, calling the HiveMQ broker from a test client, right? So that's what I was doing, and so here we go. So this is the test container, and actually, this is their website. So yeah, so if you're interested, right? So this is their website. The one earlier is just the okay, and so that's the testcontainers.org. So if you want to kind of take a look at this, and if you look into it too, I think they announced, yeah, HiveMQ is also one of their supported kind of modules now. So, okay, so here's the thing. So I'm using the community edition of HiveMQ, and I wrote this quick test container client, which is actually the HiveMQ container client for it. So and let me bring that to you. So if you want to kind of take a look into it too, um, I'm making a connection to the container, and there are some things, like, for example, you can start your container as easy as just giving it the Docker image name in here, and it gives it to you, right? So currently is 2021, the tag is the one we're using. And then log level, you can set log level right there, right? So it's a bit of a convenience too in that sense. So let's kind of take a look at the code. Okay, so here's my code, and let me make it a little bigger too, the fonts. So uh, sometimes when I go back to working myself, then I switch back. Wait, okay, oh, sorry. I think if I make it like 25, maybe something. So make it a little bigger. Yeah. Okay, so there is some kind of interesting thing. So first of all, let's give it to you. So I have HiveMQ broker sample test, and all I have is just in my structure, right? I have source main, and I have not implemented anything, but I essentially have the test implemented as this sample test right here. So, and also too, just to give you an example, right? I also have my resource, have my logger set up. Right now I set to debug so I can kind of see more, kind of try to do debugging to see what's going on. And then, these are the things in here. And then my Gradle file. The Gradle file in here too, essentially, I'm also using Jetpack too, and that's something that when I was talking with Oleg, who's the developer advocate for Atomic Jar, the company that makes test containers, so he suggested using Jetpack. Jetpack is sort of like just in time, so to speak, like the packaging, right? So we can also take a look too. Let me really really quickly show that to you. The Jetpack. I have also a link to that that he sent over to me. Jetpack test container. Okay, so if we go back to the test container website, you can also, actually, do they have search? Yeah, so if you search for Jetpack, yeah, so search for Jetpack too, it's actually right here. So it essentially too, they said if you want to live on the bleeding edge, so to speak, right? So you can actually do that. So basically, we'll kind of just in time kind of packaging kind of for you too. So if you're interested, so he was suggesting me to use that. So let me kind of go back to where is wait. Okay, here we go. Test containers, Jetpack, test containers, Jetpack. So, okay, so that's the Jetpack dependency kind of thing. So, okay, so just wanted to quickly show that to you, and we can go back to the code and back here. So the Gradle file in here too, I basically have all these things in here, my test implementation, the Jupyter engine, and the runtime only is the JUnit Jupyter API, and compile only the logger, the SL4F4J, and then the MQTT client and my test containers for HiveMQ. And this particular one is actually a an internal build to kind of indicator. So it hasn't actually been released yet, um, but otherwise too for test implementation we're using 1.16.3 of these things. So that's kind of the Gradle file. Now let's kind of now go into this test file. So as you can see, I'm actually okay again, right? If you were aware, right, of MQTT, there are essentially like two versions that are available for use today, right? And that's the MQTT 3.1.1, or the MQTT 5. So here it is too. I have actually a couple tests, and then I'm testing different ones. And in MQTT 3 or 5, whichever ones too, is basically you can have client that are called like regular like blocking client, or you can use an async client. And there's also another flavor of client is actually makes use is an asynchronous, but it makes use of RX Java. So you could also have RX Java client too. So let me also show you the Java doc too. So let me actually it's over here. So I'll look for the link and wait. Where is it? It's always this thing. Let me show that to you. And sorry, it's actually on my other browser, but this browser I happen to be using it for my for the streaming now, so I can't bring this up. And I want to look for that link and I cannot find it. Okay. And am I forgetting something? Okay. And let me look for the HiveMQ client. Where is it? Oh, I think my Java doc. Because it's strange too. You can't actually find. Oh, here we go. Okay. I couldn't find this actually. I have to search. I couldn't find it internally in the website. It doesn't. There isn't a link to Java doc on the HiveMQ website, so I had to like search for it and then found it here. So, as you can see too, if you look into all of the packaging, right, they're blocking client. You can also do async client, right? Async client. So that's what it is, and it's based on futures and callbacks too for async. And then the blocking one, of course, blocking is synchronous, right? So, and then there's also the RX Java one, which is MQTT 3 RX client too. So you could actually use the reactive client too, if you desire. So, but in my particular case, I'm just using an async client for version 3, and then using a version 5 blocking client. So that's what I am doing. So, and let me go back to my thing over here. And yeah, so okay. Yeah. Okay, and Max just said goodbye. Thanks again, Max. Yeah, I just saw you. So okay, so here it is, right? So if you look into here to the let's look at the RX let's look back into the uh MQTT 3 client. We go to async. So essentially too, if you can do a connect. The connect call will be doing essentially just connect to the default connect message. But the thing is too is we want to connect it with the given connect message. Then you can use the variant of the constructor of connect, and then using the MQTT3 connect as a parameter. And then there's also this connect with, kind of, they call it like a fluent way of doing connect. So fluent meaning that you can have, is kind of like in here, calling the MQTT3 connect builder dot send on the return builder, which has the same effect as calling connect with the MQTT3 connect parameter, with the result of this MQTT3 connect builder dot build. Yeah, it's a long mouthful, I know. So let's take a look, right? So with this MQTT3 builder dot build will basically build this connect object, essentially. So that's why you can do it. But okay, so pictures worth 1,000 words. Let me kind of show you the code, right? So again, that's also something that I was able to find in the documentation too. So I'm kind of doing it that way. But first of all, let's take a look. So you begin the test by using annotations of test containers. And then, like I said, I'm using a logger in here just for a more clean way of doing logging than, and not like system out print line thing. And then over here too, you start up your container by doing something like this, right? So basically, you construct your HiveMQ container and then pass it the Docker image name dot parse. In this case, it's the HiveMQ slash HiveMQ dash CE, which is the community edition. And then with tag, I'm using version, the latest one. This is 2021.3. And the log level, I want to debug. And then now my test. The very first test is just a very basic one, essentially. I'm just doing I'm using a MQTT5 client. So in this case, I could just do a client in equals a MQTT5 client dot builder, and then doing a dot server port. And then essentially that's how it can make the connection, is over here. I specify which port it is, and I pass it the test container to it, and by giving it the get MQTT port, and that's how I can, then that's how I can establish the context, for my this particular client. I'm connecting to that particular port. This actually get MQTT port essentially will get the port that's been exposed, to outside the Docker container. Because if you look into here, the new container too was started, but it's inside Docker. So then if you make the call to get MQTT port, and that will actually, you see, it gets the mapped port for the MQTT port of the container. So the map port is what gets externalized. So then my host, I'm running my client on my host, and then the Docker container itself has its own internal port. So anyway, same likewise too, you also need the server host, and you use the get host call to get that. And in this case, I'm doing a blocking call, so I do have to say dot blocking in this particular case. So that's what it is. And then in that case, this is just a very simple test. It's doing a client connect and a client disconnect. Although I didn't do any assert, but we can try to run it and see what happens. But also too, just a note too, and I'm still kind of trying to figure out what's going on. This isn't the most beautiful code, so to speak. The thing is, what I'm doing in here is that I'm doing a test pops up 3. So as you can see, I'm just doing the basic kind of a publish and subscribe a client, and as an asynchronous client to this particular HiveMQ container. So in this case, what I'm doing in this case now, I'm using MQTT3 async client in here. And let's see. So as you can see, it is an MQTT3 client, right, based on futures and callbacks. So then in this case, I'm doing MQTT3 client.builder, and then dot identifier, and same thing, I'm connecting to the same kind of container that's already spin up right at the beginning of my test here. And I, instead of doing build blocking, I'm doing build async. And that will indicate that this is, a client that's actually I indicated is an asynchronous client. So now the thing is, this is the messy part, because then what I wanted to do is that with this client, then I will make a call first, subscribe to the topic. So I call it test test topic. And then because it makes use of a callback, so I have to say callback and doing a publish in here. But the thing is too is that strange is I am getting some kind of issue when I'm running the test. So we'll take a look at it. But again too, I'm also then you do need to call like a dot send to, which is actually to me is a little bit kind of clunky way of doing it. I'm not sure why it's being designed like this, but I'm doing it like this because it's just what the documentation said. So I will kind of go investigate further too, but I just wanted to show it to you. So now the thing is that then basically I can use a when complete, but or I can also use a completable future as well. But in this particular case, again, this is supposed to be also working, and then I'm calling it a throwable. Actually, funny. It says rename to. It's telling me to rename to something. Why is it so? Rename to. Okay, I'll rename it. Okay, all right, that's fine. I think that might be why it was giving me issue too. Okay, so here we go. So I basically, when complete, right, then I basically get the acknowledgement, and then we'll examine the acknowledgement. If it is null, then we know there's an issue. But if it's not null, then what I do is then I will go into immediately publishing it. And so in that case, then my client should then be getting back the result. So let's see what happens. But on the publish side, what I do is doing a client.publish with, and then publish to the topic test slash topic here. And the payload is just saying that, hi, hey, test container, and then doing a send. And when it's complete, then I should say, actually, the thing is, if it's complete, I can just say, okay, I can just say this, right? The payload, it would be publish. Can I do a to string? Something like that, right? So let's see. So okay, so not sure if it will work this time, but the previous time I didn't work. Now the next test though, what I wanted to do is to do a blocking test and doing this, but I'm still gonna have to work on some of these things because it's not just saying build blocking. I think over here, what I'm doing in here, it's probably needs to be changed. So I'll work on that part. So I block it out for now. And then the next test, actually, I also have to do. I just need to test what is called a control center. You should be able to also, with the container, you can actually invoke or set up your control center too. So that part I will work on a bit later. But in the meantime, what I can do is basically, let me kind of go back to here. I can just say run from here and see what happens now. Okay. Now, also too, just a note to tell you was that that's right. I was gonna say I'm not currently running against a Docker that's local to my MacBook. I'm actually using the cloud. So over here too, you can see is actually indicating. Well, that's all Docker call. It's in the queue with the little Docker, whale. But anyway, too is right now I'm actually deploying this to the test container Docker cloud. Is what I'm doing. So as you can see, uh, actually interesting. Why is it the Docker host is seems to be local, but it's supposed to be going to the cloud? Okay, so now at least two of you kind of look over here. It says test passed, and I think the reason is they all passed because I didn't actually assert, so they kind of assume everything is good. So okay, let's see. Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. Fusnabo, you're still online too, or yeah. Okay, well, thank you. I didn't know, but uh, anyway, yeah. So it uses completable future for the async client. It is what it is. So yeah, and anyway, so over here, as you can see, like seems like things are running okay, right? So let me take a look too. This is my I'm testing my first case, right? Test the basic 5 blocking client, and that's the one all I do is just connect to the test container, the Hive MQ, and then doing a test dot connect, and then client connect, and then client disconnect. Let me see now. Here's the kind of strange thing. By the way, too, I'm running against 17 now. I was doing 11 when I was doing the build within the whole tree, then it was giving problems with some things, and then the test containers people were telling me, okay, don't use. You may want to use a lower version. However, what I've done now is that I extracted out this piece of the test of my HiveMQ to just the HiveMQ and not running together with the other tests. So that's why I just up it to 17, and it is supposed to be working. I also tested with 11 though, and I'm getting the same issue, which is a little strange. So as you can see, right over here, actually it's interesting too. Okay, so I'm testing my basic. If you look at the stack trace, right, this is the thing. I'm testing the basic call. This is my basic test, and all I'm doing is establishing my MQTT5 client as an async client. Or did I do async? Yeah, I thought that's what. Let me kind of go back. So my basic test over here. Oh wait, that's interesting. I'm telling it to do basic blocking. Oops, hold on. Actually, I guess I accidentally have moved some things around. How do I do this? Let me undo paste. Let me undo paste. Okay, there we go. Okay. So all I'm doing here is that I'm actually, oh yeah, I forgot this particular basic test. I'm using a MQTT5, but it's a blocking client. But let's look over here. My test, right? Where did it go? Wait. Structure block my run, right? Okay, here we go. Run, sorry. So my run, and over here, uh, so my builder, well, what I'm kind of wondering was that it's actually indicating an MQTT reactive client too, even though I'm trying to do a blocking. That part, I guess I did not ask those guys about why. Maybe I'll just send an email because now I don't work for HiveMQ, but I will send an email to those guys and have them explain. And I don't know why this is the case. Even though I said to build doing like build blocking. So um, hmm, that is strange. Anyway, um, and this is the thing, right? So basically, it's telling me unsupported operation. Of course, it would be unsupported, I would think, and that's where I was also wondering because I'm telling it to do blocking, but the call somehow the build dot builder somehow when it initializes, it's actually going to an MQTT RX client builder. I think actually the library itself may have bugs. I don't think the folks are testing it thoroughly. And for me, I'm just using it, expecting it to be. If it's blocking, I would imagine the builder should be just a regular blocking client builder. But okay, so that could be why too, because over here, okay, and and then there's also an illegal access exception too, and that's actually coming from Netty. So that's another weird thing. iNet socket util create. So this part I also am not sure. So from my perspective, I shouldn't have to worry about some of these things in here. So I really would like to find out from them. Maybe if I don't use it correctly too, that's another issue. But the thing is though, it's a very innocent test, right? Because all I'm doing is okay, I'm starting my client, I connect to it, but it appears that the connect already isn't working because of this client builder is incorrect. So this is all I can show you for now, because then without this working, that means my other tests would not be working too, and it's expected, right? Because that's just a thing. Okay, sorry. Let me go back to here. Run. So this one is my third test, and it would not be working too. Okay, so over here. Yeah, so this guy too, I think it just somehow like was telling me build successful, but it's actually didn't run it all the way to the end too, because that's supposed to be my second test. So anyway, yeah. So I again, that's just something to show it to you, and if you're interested, right, in further like developing using HiveMQ client. Now for me, I can also go and maybe like not using the container too. Maybe we can just do that just to show, right, to see if it works, and we can basically use the okay. So my particular cloud one. I actually created a HiveMQ cloud cluster for me, but I remember actually that last episode or the episode before last it didn't work. So what we can do is basically use the what you call the publicly available MQTT broker and see if that works. So okay, so we'll let's take a look then and find out from here. Actually, maybe over here. Yeah, that's right. So okay, so this actually, by the way, if you're interested too, this would be the MQTT client library. I can share it too, like the HiveMQ. Okay, so if you're interested, right, and so I'm still trying to help. That's a nice company too. Don't get me wrong, right? HiveMQ, they've got some nice, a small company, but it's got some nice folks. So I would recommend you still, if you're interested, right, in IoT stuff, to go to them too. Okay, and actually not this one, but let's go to the public MQTT broker. Okay. Okay, so here we go. So that's the browser client, but we want, okay, here we go. So we actually wanted to connect to this and on TCP port 1883. So broker.hivemq.com. So, all right, so I remember that. Let me go back to here. Let's just be a little, oh, here we go. Okay. And okay, so instead of using container, why don't I do this one thing, right? I could do this one thing, and instead of, well, actually, can I think I should be able to say oh, okay, here we go. Maybe let's do this quickly. There's no need to be too formal in this case. It's just to see if it works, right? So this guy, let's just worry about this piece. So if I can connect server port, this one would be, the port would be 1883. No, sorry, server host, right? And this one would be the broker.hivemq. Oops. Okay, I think I got it right. Let me just double check. Yes, broker.hivemq.com. And then 1883. Oh, maybe there's no need for the HTTP part. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So let's see if that might work. Okay. Again, over here, and I forgot, what is the JUnit thing to say don't skip? Is it skip test or something? Or skip? Yeah, because the other thing was I can always comment it out to skip. That's skip. Yeah, well, anyway, I think I remember if I run the test on command line, I have a flag that tells it not to run the test. But for now, that's fine. Have it run through. Doesn't matter. We don't care if it runs or not. But okay, so here we go. Go back to here and run. Okay. Okay, so the container is still starting because I didn't stop it from doing so. Okay, all right. So here we go. It says, okay, all the tests passed, but uh, let's go to the first one. Is it the right time? Yeah, it's 53, so it is. But I'm trying to connect to the. Wait. Uh, okay, so this time too, I basically am connecting directly, right, to that. Oh, so I am actually still having issue to that. Well, okay, so that part I don't know, but of course too, I'm not changing in as far as just in case, right? If something in the container that's not clicking, so to speak. But apparently, this is still having an issue, even though I'm trying to connect directly to my particular to this particular public broker. Um, so let me kind of take a look again. Come on. Because sometimes I'm not sure too if I'm connecting to a broker that's running in a container. Could that be some level of security kind of related thing? And so, oh, Fusnabo, reflective set accessible disabled. Oh, okay. So you saw something in there. Let me kind of go back. Oh, you mean this guy? Yeah. So create breakpoint. So what you're saying is that maybe, yeah, that would take some parsing to digest exactly. So I that part I'm see that's the thing is that I was not sure if like I said, I saw this when I'm running it with Java 11 as well. So that's when I switched it to 17, and now I'm still seeing this. So yeah, that part I yeah. uh, Could would you have Googleable? Googleable, yeah, yeah, that's right. I actually have tried it too, but I didn't know. Well, okay, so one thing is that I first look into this, right? Illegal access exception. I think that that's where it actually pops up from, isn't it? It should be like from a bottom up, right? So it goes from bottom up. It's actually something in here. It's do an inet socket address util create and check access, and almost seems like in here is not letting me. So and basically it's a netty thing, and I was searching for this, and then there were people also saying that there were problems with it too. uh, there are two, yeah, there are two exceptions, you're right. But I think first of all we should look into netty, so something on the netty layer that it isn't letting it. So that's why it kind of percolate up, right, to this part that's unsupported, right? It should be like that, isn't it? Yeah. um so I'm not sure, is that because I did think about the fact that maybe on the JDK level, there is in fact, as I recall, there would be also a some configuration that, yeah, they do seem to be related. I'm not sure, and I just cannot recall. Oh, you found something. Okay, great. Yeah, thank you. And let me kind of go over here. Okay, so yeah, that's right. I think that's what I read about as well. It is so it looks like if you upgrade from 8 to 11 from netty, Okay, so it seems to be a similar type of situation, right? It cannot access class jdk.internal.miscellaneous unsafe because the module java.base does not export jdk.internal miscellaneous to unnamed module. So that's what I was kind of thinking too. That oops, wait, okay, sorry, and so definitely is a similar type of situation. Oh, maybe this to allow Netty to access the class start Java with the following option: add opens. Oh, okay, so maybe that's what I should be doing, right? And this opens the package jdk.internal.miscellaneous in module to the unnamed module. Okay. For Netty to use its direct buffer optimizations, you also need to set this to true. Try reflection set accessible to true. Okay, so this is in fact a known issue. It is what it is, right? Yeah, sure. Let me give that a try. So I think I thought though, from the the stack trace, right? I actually do recall this thing. Let me kind of take a look again. Isn't it dash d io.netty no unsafe false? So this guy actually I should have to set it to true, right? This thing in here, essentially, right? This part. So, but how do I set it? That's another question. Is how do I tell it? Oh, so maybe when I run it, I need to pass that in. Okay, so here we go. Then in that case, structure. Wait, no. Let me kind of go back in here. Wait, I why is that not the? Okay, here we go. Run. Maybe the edit the configuration, right? Can you see okay? I cannot increase the size in here. I hope it not way too small. So okay, so that's the run and Gradle project and oh yeah, I exactly. I run from the command line too. Like I said, right when I was first asking the test containers people, they said don't run from command line. You kind of make it into an IDE. So that's why I just thought, okay, let me extract this thing out and put it in here. But you are right too. And it's already in the IDE. So let me kind of do that. I think it's the run is this test, but I think it's a Gradle environment variables is what I need to do. Okay, so let me kind of go back to what you found for me in here. So I need to first this guy, right? I have to add this as an option. I believe it's the environment variable, right? Okay, so here we go. I think I should be able to do this, right? And then separate variables with semicolon. Okay, so these are not. So add opens Java base, java.base slash jdk.internal.miscellaneous equals all unnamed. And do I think, there we go. Yes. So I wonder if these are not environment variables though. These should be like runtime variables, right? Am I doing it correctly? These are not okay. I probably didn't do this right. How do I modify options? Um, and sometimes I have to agree with you, Fusnabo, right? You just express how I feel. That's why I wasn't using IDE. But like I said, sometimes people are. I find that it's either people are very much into IDE, they want to do things, everything's IDE, or like you and I, right, Fusnabo. I come from more of the C and Unix side. I don't mind doing things on the command line. In fact, I like doing things on the command line because it's less of a dependency on all of these IDE. But Anyway, yeah, then sometimes when you ask people and then they said put this into IDE, and that's what I'm doing. So okay. Anyway, but so this is environment variables. I wanted to okay, well, the thing is too, this is the run, this is task. Arguments, there we go. I think it's really the arguments that I want. Okay, so maybe like this, or can I add options? And I don't see an add option. So these are, oh, add VM options. There we go. Oh, that's what I was looking for. I think this is for the virtual machines, right? So okay, and then I have to add another. No, wait. No. Okay, so it's good, but wait, these are just macros. Okay. Okay, and I can do insert. Oh no, that isn't. Wait, no, that's not what I meant. Okay, here we go. I guess I did the wrong ad. So let me. Okay, that's it, right? Okay, so that's that. And could I? Okay, add open. Okay, and I need another one too, which is the NIO, right? That's also for the VM. So okay. Well, let's see if it's okay. Apply. Okay. Let's see if it works this time. Okay. All right. So run. All right. This is test pass, one of one, two of two, and two tests. Okay, so this is my third test. Okay, that's fine. The third one, it doesn't matter. And okay, here we go. I think I wanted to go to the first test. So this is the first one. No, this is not. This is. Here we go. Oh, I think I probably is '06, right? Okay. So I probably might not have done this correctly because let's look at this. I thought blocking, right? Um no, this one. Here we go. 1606, right? It is still calling it unsafe as false. But the thing is, let me kind of go over here a second. Oh, this is reflection set accessible. Okay. Reflection. Because this is still telling me that still telling me it's disabled. So I probably didn't do it at the in the right thing, right? Still unsafe. What if you disable unsafe? Yeah. Okay, so let me see. Yeah, you were saying a bunch of stuff. So I'm missing a lot of things. Let me see. Okay. You want to win your team of IDEs. I support you, Fusnabo. Okay, IDEs aren't available on production services. You're absolutely right, and I think that's the thing too. Totally, yeah. Learn to debug from logs and metrics. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with you. But like I said, sometimes too these days, right? When I run into different people, different groups of people, people tend to like to use IDEs, and then it's always and I'm always like very clumsy with IDEs because I don't usually use it, and so I'm like, okay, I have to ask question, and here I am going back to IDEs. But I agree with you. But for now, since I have it set up in IDE, so I think it's quickest if I can figure out where to actually set these parameters and pass it onto my runtime. So yeah. Well, that said, I do use IDEs occasionally to write code and navigate code, but very seldom to debug. Yeah. Yeah. So I disable unsafe and still unsafe. That could something to do with unsafe code. Okay, so you're saying that maybe something is unsafe, but for me, right? I'm very innocent. I'm not doing anything too fancy to it. I'm just doing what it says, right? I'm making the client connect and then just do a connect, right? It's essentially. So what would I've done that's unsafe, right? But like I said, but my setting in here is still showing that it is IONETI no unsafe false. So should I actually pass this and call it true? No unsafe false. Okay. No unsafe. If there's no unsafe is well, it kind of like double negative, right? So that means no unsafe. That means safe is false, right? So which is okay, right? So that means I'm allowing unsafe. Is that correct? So I'm actually okay in this case. Am I right? Yeah, full snapple. I'm trying to say no unsafe is false. No unsafe. So unsafe is true. No unsafe is false. Like that, right? No unsafe, false. That means I have to have everything true. So could I set something like this guy equals true? Yeah, I have problem with unsafe code. Yeah, that's right. So if I kind of override that for now, is what I'm thinking, right? This actually is a bit confusing. So let me go back to this guy. Oh, then how did I miss that? I thought I saved it. And where did it go? Oh, here we go. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, here we go. I'm not looking at the right thing. So it is here. So I have add opens is internal miscellaneous all unnamed. I think I'm doing it correctly, right? Add opens. And why is it in two lines? Maybe they shouldn't be like that. It should be add opens is this guy, and then the netty try reflective set accessible equals true. And here I'm thinking, could I do something like this? Right? Oh wait, not this. I wanted to say netty, but no unsafe equals no unsafe means everything needs to be safe, but I want something false, right? No unsafe, false. That means, yeah, that's right. That means I'm allowing unsafe in this case. Okay, so let me see, right? Oh, I suppose it uses unsafe code for performance. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, but in any event, I'm gonna just try this also pass in explicitly, to netty, no unsafe, telling it false, right? And meaning that I don't care. I just want things to be unsafe. That will be okay. So okay, let me kind of run this again, right? And rerun. So this one is my first test. Okay, this is my second one. And that's another thing. I just okay. Okay, so this is that. Actually, I don't think I am restore default layout. So there are three tests in here. So when I first look, it's actually I'm looking at the test basic blocking, right? Okay, so no unsafe false. This is still calling it false, but I thought I wanted to be true. Or did I set it correctly? Wait, wait. Hmm. Okay, so then that's fine. I am telling it to say no unsafe is false. Okay. No unsafe false. That's fine. But I am still getting this. So I don't know if I'm passing in this thing in the correct way, or should I just run it on the command line? Okay, let me make sure too. Java C. Oh, oh, you know why? Because my terminal, I'm setting it to 11. Okay, well, the thing is, let's try to do it like that too. Let's first do this. I can also do it Gradle, W, build. So let's see. It is very true. Sometimes like using IDE kind of drives me crazy too because the UI, if you're not familiar with it, and you just it's not like difficult. It's just sometimes the design is kind of a little strange and you don't know where to look for things. And just to me, right, trying to pass in these parameters doesn't seem to be in effect right now. So I don't know how to do that. Okay, all right. So that's another thing too. If I do it Gradle, then basically I have to open up my hold on a sec, right? So okay, it would be in here. So no, actually not this, but broker test. So there we go. Okay, so this was the test that just ran. So this actually just kind of sent all the reports to my build directory. So I'm just getting in there. So it's actually, why is it only one test, right? This is test. Oh, you know why? Because this is my old thing. Okay, here we go. Let's do this one thing. Let me open this up. Open the file. Open my file. I'm kind of going over there. So I have it work. Twitch code, and this one is the sample tests, builds, reports, tests. Yes, what a long tree. Okay, here we go. There we go. Okay, so this is the one that just ran. Default, yes, I have 3 tests. Okay, so test 5, the blocking, basic 5 blocking, control center, and the pub sub 3 async. But the thing is, they weren't quite all working, so this is the one. That's what I wanted to look at. It's just easier. That's funny though. Even though I list them in the order, it doesn't get executed in the order that I'm expecting. Okay, it is like I said. It is okay. Then I'm running in 11, right? That this time to running Gradle, I happen to have it set to 11. So I am still getting the same problem with uh, Java 11. So it comes from the same thing that I am getting unsupported. Oh, interesting though. Okay. So I think it is okay. It is still the reflective accessible disabled. So and then it kind of percolates up and is basically getting the illegal access exception. The same thing. So okay. So if I want to run this, so essentially it's the same thing. So at least it proves it 17 or 11. I'm getting the same kind of problem. I wonder too if I run it in Gradle, and how do I Gradle W? If I pass in, uh, how does Gradle works with param? That's another thing. These tests, they are like all in Gradle, so that's why like I am just not as remembering, right? Gradle, how do I like Gradle? how to how to pass JVM parameters. How can I pass VM arguments to Gradle from command line? Okay, here we go. This guy too. Um, okay, and here we go from boot run. Okay, so I could do it like this or just basically Gradle dash D. There's also that flag that I'm adding in, right? So, okay, so if it's just simply on the command line, then let me take a look. Okay, so that might be okay. So let me then try it like that. So again, right? Let me just clear this. Okay, and so great, Gradle W SD, right? Okay, here we go. Let me then. Wait, no, this one. Ah, oh, let me do. Oh, and then this thing is shrink. Okay, here we go. Oh, my paste. Where's my paste? Well, let's see. See, my paste doesn't work. This okay. Here we go. I think what I can do is take it from here. Let me just kind of copy this whole thing, and and but my paste is not working in here, and I cannot use my Command V to paste it. Oh, here we go. Here we go. There we go. Okay, so it's just the wrong thing. Okay, there we go. So let me see if this might work. So essentially, too, right? I have add opens to allow, the Java base basically open that up, right, for to access unnamed module. In this case, is the -q broker testing, and then the IONetty try reflection set accessible true, and also the no unsafe is false, and then do a build and see what happens. Oof. Okay, so it doesn't like it. So I thought I could do it like that. Hmm. Um, so I can do dash D. Okay, so dash D should work, right? Dash D should be okay. Oh, it says it does need colon, right? And then dash dash add opens. So these are JVM parameters. Do you have any other suggestions? JVM parameters. Somehow it doesn't like it, but let me do this again. I think. Let me just use Gradle maybe instead of Gradle W, the wrapper. Use this. Oops. Okay. Oh, okay. So it still doesn't like it. I thought. Okay, so okay, so that's the thing. Let me kind of take a look. Let's take a look again. Oh, maybe I need to do it at the end. Okay, let's kind of take a look. Maybe. Oops. Oh, maybe that will work. Yeah. Okay. It should be the end, not in the beginning. Yeah, I kind of see the thing is I've done also like writing some shell thing, right? Okay, so this doesn't like it. Unknown command line option. Problem configuring task from command line. Hmm. Oh, or should that be should that be then like this? Let's see if that works. Oh, okay, so it doesn't like it either. Um oops. No. Here. Okay, so Gradle build add opens. Or is a special flag telling it is a JVM parameter? So I have dash D, but is the options that doesn't like it. You know what I'll do? Let me do this one thing. Since somehow it doesn't like this, let me just not worry about this, and just to see if those would work. Okay, so well, maybe looks like it takes it, but I think we may still have issue because of the fact that we still need to add the options in for the unnamed module for the other thing. So, but this is clearly something. Oh, it says it's okay too. But the thing is, let's take a look. You know, it can't just look at the result like that. Let's kind of come on over here. Let's kind of take a look. Let me kind of refresh again. Okay, so standard output. Yep, 1625. So that's the right thing. Test blocking. Okay, so it is taking the netty and no unsafe false, but I also have the other thing, which is the reflective thing, right? But I'm also still seeing this error. But like I said, I still need the options part to know how to do that. Yeah. Okay. So okay. Well, at least I know that passing in the dash D right for the properties is okay, but the add options part is what I don't know how to add in. Well, let me see. Oops. Why am I doing this? Oh, and I think it doesn't work in here. Okay. All right. I just have to go. All right. So we know that that works, but we still would need to open up that base thing. Is it a dash F status? Warning. Project cache. How do I pass in options? Console. Well, add options. Oh, did I add opens? Or did I? Oh, it's supposed to be add options, right? And did I not typing in? Yeah, add opens. Well, it is correct. Is add opens. Well, anyway, I just want to try to see if we can actually open this guy up. Hmm. Hmm. I don't see anything. It's not a dash D. It's not system prop, right? This is simply I want to set it directly and send it over to the JVM. And um, let me do this one thing. Let me kind of search for. Well, it looks like this example in here, you should be able to still. Okay, well, there's another thing. It's not dash X, not maybe. Well, at least I think it's okay with the dash D, but okay, let me do this one thing. Let me just see what happens if I do this. Okay, yeah, so it says it's unknown command line options. Um, hmm. Okay, let me do this one thing. Gradle VM options. Okay, here. How do I send it dynamically at the runtime? Hmm. This is quite crazy. Set the JVM arguments of the Gradle compiler. All right, I want to do it on the command line is what it is. Command line. How to pass from boot run. I mean, that's what I was looking at, right? Uh, okay, yeah, that's fine. We can do it. Java ops and all these things. Hmm. It baffles me that I cannot figure this one out. But if you are still here, if you want to help, just a quick thing too, folks. What I'm trying to do is I want to be able to run Gradle, but then like pass this particular option in, and this is an option which isn't the same as giving a system properties to the VM. Uh, so Oh, add these options. Yeah. So, okay. So, well, with this same thing too, um, add opens. It almost seems like I should be able to just run it like this, but this Gradle thing is not accepting it. Oops. Okay. Well, okay. So it doesn't like it. That is funny. If I say that first, I can't find anywhere in here that says I'm supposed to pass this. It's not a script. Export key, debug, dash D. All right, let me do this one more thing. Maybe try this one more thing is to say Gradle, how to pass open. So actually, can't blame it on Gradle. It almost seems like it must be is a Gradle thing. So how do we JVM option for add opens? Oh, so solved by this, you added a single option. Try with application default JVM arcs. Well, but this actually isn't like doing it command line. So I don't get it. Okay, here we go again. Well, these are Gradle 6, but I think it should still be working. Application default JVM arcs. Oh, so maybe. Well, it's not command line from command line. Oh, there's Gradle ops environment variable. You have to pass it as an environment variable. Well, okay, all right. Well, if so, let's try Gradle ops and see what happens, right? Oh, wait, over here. I try using Gradle ops, but it doesn't work. Okay, so maybe I'll try Gradle ops just to see. Okay, that's the last thing. Okay, Gradle. Um, now it doesn't let me copy. Paste. Okay, don't need the whole thing, but okay. Oh wait, no. Let me do that again. Sorry. All right. Let me do that again. Then kind of bomb it. Gradle. I'm gonna use this guy to paste. Okay. Okay. All right. See if that works. So. Okay, this is the last try. If it doesn't work, I think I've been like doing this for 2 hours. Again, everybody's sleeping. So let me see if that works. And but thank you too if you're still here. I don't know who might still be here. It's always kind of tricky sometimes. But it looks like it accepts it. So let's see. Ah, okay. All right. So now let's take a look into my test results. It would be this guy. Make sure we refresh it. Okay. And standard output. This is 1638. That looks right. Okay. It just doesn't seem like it's taking it. So, well, I truly don't know how you can actually tell Gradle to take those JVM parameters right on the command line. I mean, I could actually update my Gradle too, but on the other hand, may not be the thing to do. Like I said, to do unsave all of these things. So that's got to be better ways of doing the command line. So, but giving that that's the fact, let me then let's say, shall we then bring this to a halt for today now, for a stop now. So I will be back next week, and I am going to start talking more about other things, right? Like something on event streaming, on pops up on queuing, message queuing. But then too is that at the same time, let me also go back to doing some of these basic things, perhaps like figuring out, working with different toolings and things like that, the containers and anything else. And then also let me know if you find it useful too today that I spend time on, talking about developer relations and things like that. So let me know. And thanks again for joining my stream. If you're watching it on demand, please don't forget to also send me, or anybody too, to send me a join my Discord, right? So let me do that before I forget, that please join my Discord, and we can always continue the conversation there too. So thanks a lot, and I appreciate you, everybody. Please stay safe, take care, and again, once more, again, let all of the friends in Ukraine know that our prayers are with you. So we hope peace will return soon. Everybody, take care.
So gotta find it first. But here I am, 'cause I've been laying under palm trees, waiting for the summer, knowing there's nowhere to go. 'Cause I am happy on this island, wanna be my fatherland. I don't ever want to leave. I'm in